me a call.
Welcome to Game of Bro Hulk Reviews. My name is DJ. Now for your dose of the J Giant. Today's Hulk featured item is the 3 3/4 Marvel Legends Kenner Wave. This is a new series that came out in the last few years, and it is a retro wave that portrays more of the classic Marvel characters throughout the years. I love the card. I think it's absolutely amazing. I love how it depicts, a more 70s classic Hulk with the more wavy, longer hair. Classic colors, the lighter color pinkish purple pants, and the lighter green, which is the way I like my Hulk. Again, this is 3 3/4, so you're looking at, almost 4 inches. I'll let you pause this if you want to read the little info on the Hulk. And just like the old classic figures back in the 80s, early 90s, they give you a nice little cutout, so you can have like a little cutout card. So if you buy a lot of the different figures through this wave, you can collect all the cards and put them together. This came out in 2021. So now I will give you a nice little look at a open version. Here's what the face looks like. Again, I love the wavy hair, I love the longer hair. I think these little figures are amazing. I really like the sculpts. I like the paint. It really gives a nice vintage feel. But as for sculpts, very, very cool sculpt. I absolutely love it. For Hulk sculpt, this is probably, high 8s. Paint, high 8s. You can't get over that old 70s look for Hulk. Absolutely love it. Articulation, there's very, very little to these. That's the only downside. You just have basically the arms, the elbows don't bend. You can turn the head, and you just have one point of articulation in the legs. No knees, no ankles. I always wondered why. I guess these might just fit like a standard 3 3/4 base. I wonder if they're all, relatively the same size. But I always wondered why these figures have the holes in there, even though they don't come with bases. But they might fit in any standard 3 3/4 base. Who knows? I might give it a try one day. You don't really need to, just because these stand incredibly well. Give you one more 360 view. Again, overall, for sure pick these up. They're not really in stores anymore. You might randomly find them, but you can find them online for sure. Probably for like $15. Again, love the art, and overall just very, very nice quality figures. And they're relatively cheap, so you can pick up the entire lines for decently cheap, and collect your favorite Avengers, favorite Marvel characters. So thanks for joining Game of Bro Hulk Reviews. Hope you enjoyed this, and now I'm going to do my little weekly chat. All right, now for my rant and discussion. Today I'm going to be discussing the 2003 Incredible Hulk movie. That's the first Hulk movie that ever came out, and other than the TV show movie. But I'll talk about that later. But the 2003 movie, I was pretty excited for this movie when it first came out, when the trailer hit and this giant Hulk was smashing dogs and rampaging. I was extremely excited. I was like, wow, a 2-hour movie, nothing but Hulk smashing things. What is there not to like, After the movie was over, I wouldn't say I was disappointed, but it definitely wasn't what I was expecting. The breakdown in the movie, I won't give any spoilers or anything. I'm sure you've seen it. It's literally, 21 years old by now, so hopefully you guys saw the movie. In 2003, it had a decently long running time for that time. The first, probably over half the movie, even more. So literally like an hour and 15 minutes in, you didn't even see Hulk yet, really. So it was just a really, really slow burn. As for the actor Eric Bana, who played Bruce Banner in the movie, I actually think he's my favorite Bruce Banner of the three. I like him as an actor. I think he portrayed the look. He had that look. He had that rage face when he started to turn, and I liked his voice. I like how he carried the character. He has that nerdy look, but also has a little bit more of a good-looking guy look. Because I always wondered, most female characters in comics are always just incredibly attractive. So every single female that I can possibly, most females, we won't get into great, but most side character females throughout all the stories, the females are ridiculously good looking, and Betty Ross is gorgeous. And Jennifer Connelly, who played Betty Ross, the perfect Betty Ross. I mean, she was just one of the most beautiful women ever. I always wondered how a lot of characters that aren't relatively like really good looking, so like Peter Parker, Bruce Banner, like Parker isn't like bad looking, but like he's supposed to be kind of nerdy. He's supposed to be an everyday Joe. So when you're walking down the street, you don't really take two looks at the person. He just looks like a normal little like scrawny teenager. And then you have like Bruce Banner, who is just a nerdy scientist. But I always wondered how the hell these guys land these ridiculously good looking women. So in regards to the 2003 movie, I think it's interesting and it makes sense that this Bruce Banner is decently good looking, but also can carry that nerdy scientist look. So you can understand why Betty focused in on him and saw him more of a boyfriend slash husband instead of just like a lab partner. In regards to Bruce Banner, I actually did like Eric Bana playing him. He's definitely my favorite of the three. In regards to Hulk, this Hulk is by far and away, the strongest version of the three Hulks portrayed. He was almost overly gigantic at some points, where like you didn't understand how each kept growing, and I'm like, how big is he possibly going to be? So he's very over exaggerated, a little extensively too much, but in today's time, if you gave, that art and that style in today's CGI, I really think he would look fantastic. I loved his muscle structure. I just loved just the ferociousness of him. He just carried such, monstrous appearance and strength. So when he appeared on screen, even though the CGI was like not the greatest, it was okay for that time. A lot of money was put in by Ang Lee, but today it doesn't hold up like nearly as much as like I saw like the trailers like Dune Part 2, and the CGI to that just looked absolutely freaking amazing. So like I can't imagine like somebody like had that capability to portray that type of style and have a director that could portray Hulk like that with that type of CGI. He would be amazing. But when Hulk finally appeared, I mean, he was just like tossing people around and jumping miles and doing the Hulk things that everybody expected to do. Just comparatively to jumps. Let's just do that. So 2003 Hulk is leaping miles and jumping on planes and running at like ridiculous speeds like Hulk can do, and very fast twitch reactions catching missiles, intelligent enough to know like what to do with it and how to react to things, and knowing not to hurt people. So like when I'm slamming on the tank and seeing the person in there and like knowing like he can just flick him away and kill him, but he like shakes him out of the tank. Like all those things were very, very well done, and I enjoyed that in regards to Hulk. But fighting tanks, which all the classic Hulk stories do that. I mean, they have, the choppers and the tanks coming at Hulk and all, General Thunderbolt Ross, like sending platoons and military forces constantly at Hulk, never letting up, just sticking at him and constantly trying to take him out, which makes sense. In regards to that movie and Hulk, what makes Hulk fun is when you put him up to other characters that portray the same type of like brutish strength that he portrays. Like when you have Hulk against like humans, it's not as fun. But you have a Hulk against like Abomination and they're going at it. I mean, it's amazing. So like I wish they had a little bit of that in the 2003 movie with the gamma radiated dogs, the pit bull and the poodle, and that was kind of fun. And I loved like when the dog like bit Hulk and he flexed his muscle and like broke the dog's jaw and stuff like. Oh, that was really really cool. In regards to like physical fighting, like you never really got that from this movie. And God, I wish they actually portrayed that, because that version of Hulk, if they ever brought him back in the multiverse today, and they gave him like a couple really really cool scenes, it would be an absolutely amazing to see him just smash and destroy villains and heroes and stuff. Like if 2003 Hulk went against Hulkbuster, first of all, Hulk has never, ever lost to Hulkbuster in the comics, ever. Every single time Hulk went up against Hulkbuster,
he annihilated him. Like Tony Stark did, every resort, every measure he can possibly try with Hulkbuster, with like microscopic like nanobots that infiltrate the body and attack from within, and just like the most powerful versions of like Hulkbuster. And Hulk would just fight it off and tear through Hulkbuster. And when it comes to the Avengers movie, Age of Ultron, Hulk and Hulkbuster, that was a really, really cool scene. Don't get me wrong, but come on, like any Hulk fan looks at that and they're like, give me a freaking break. That is so unrealistic. Hulk would just annihilate him. What would have made more sense is having Scarlet Witch come back, or unfortunately Black Widow do like her little lullaby to Hulk, like calm him down. That would have made more sense instead of like having the end that they had. That would never happen. So 2003 Hulk versus that Hulkbuster. First, the size makes way more sense. I mean, Hulk looked tiny. The Avengers Hulk looked tiny against Hulkbuster. The 2003 Hulk, he's just as big as Hulkbuster or bigger, and he just would have freaking ripped through him. He would have threw him miles. He would have took him by the head and jumped miles, got him out of the city, and just tore him to shreds. Tony would have went for a ride and would have got annihilated. That was the only disappointing part to the 2003 movie. Very boring first half through. I don't mind the story. I like the backstory with Brian Banner, Hulk's father. I like, how he experimented with Bruce, and Bruce is like, biology played a big role into how he became Hulk, and all that was like really, really well done. And dealing with the mother and stuff, that was good. But it just wasn't enough to keep you in the story. There needed to be more. And there needed to be like Hulk sprinkled out throughout the movie. So the 2008 Hulk movie did a better job. I still don't think it was perfect. I don't think they hit that sweet spot for Bruce Banner Hulk transitions throughout a movie. I think 2008 movie did it the best so far, but I think it could still be better. As for the totality of the movie, I think it's the worst Hulk movie made so far. If Ang Lee had a chance at it now, I'm not sure why they don't stick to comics. My directors, I know the agenda and all that woke crap. I don't want to get into that, but as for implementing like really good thought out stories, and in regards to Hulk, I would do a really damn good job doing a storyboard for a Hulk movie. I would break it down. I would have really good fight scenes, really good chemistry and storytelling. One of the best things about Hulk is just that fight with Bruce Banner and Hulk, and the struggles they have with each other, living with each other, not knowing who's in control and who's the real person. There are many times where Bruce is like so psychologically like out of it, and where Hulk takes over and controls him for longer periods of time, and he wakes up and he's disoriented and doesn't really remember anything, and where he doesn't even like feel like he's in control anymore, or he's not even the real person Hulk is. I love that dynamic, and having them fight with that and constantly have inner battle arguments would be amazing. Absolutely amazing. But and Bruce like wandering and never really staying in a place for too long, and constantly like on the run, and getting into things that you wouldn't expect him to get into, just being at the wrong place at the wrong time, and trying to do things like to work together to help a situation, but sometimes it doesn't necessarily work out that way and they look like the bad guy. Like, there's a lot of cool things you can do. I think every single Hulk story is just missing that specific thing, that specific mentality between the characters. 2003 movie did it the worst out of any of them. Definitely the worst of the three. My favorite Bruce Banner, my favorite Hulk. With new CG, I think the Hulk would be better. I think Eric Bana did a really good job, but definitely the worst movie. The slowest, and the end result wasn't really what you'd expect it to be. But as a Hulk fan, I appreciate any type of Hulk material, good or bad. I think Hulk in the past was, the pinnacle of Marvel, top three. I think it was Spider Man, Wolverine, Hulk, in that order of popularity. and characters like Iron Man and Thor, who were at best C-list characters at the time, had their fair shot due to the actors portraying those characters and those actors fully becoming those characters. So when you see those actors, you see, Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, Chris Hemsworth as Thor. They essentially become one, and that's what that key is to the start of a really good movie. I don't think they nailed that with Bruce Banner and Hulk. They really gave a fair shot with the CGI and the chemistry that the others deserved. So if Ang Lee in the 2003 movie was bumped up to 2015, and Iron Man and Thor and Captain America were already implemented, and the reviews they got, I think Hulk would have had a better movie at that time. Obviously, Universal played better ball with Disney and let Disney and Marvel have a chance at this. I know it sucks that Hulk never really got his fair shake, and it's unfortunate. I mean, in today's world with female power and the woke agenda, Hulk is the epitome of what they don't want currently, which is so sad, because Hulk is such a good character, and he deserves it. Only time will tell. We'll see what happens with Hulk, but as for 2003 Hulk movie, I give it a C+. If it was, implemented into the Sony, Universal, Disney, forefront, I think it would be at the pretty low. I don't think it's as bad. I'd rather watch that than the garbage itself now, like the Marvels and Miss Marvel and Black Panther 2, Doctor Strange 2. I just don't think those movies are good. So I would put 2003 Hulk movie into that category. I think it's around that relation to actual how well the movie is. But I just think that Bruce Banner and that Hulk has in today's CGI and today's storytelling, I think has a really, really good shot at being the definitive Hulk for Disney and Marvel. So it really sucks that it didn't get the fair shake, and that it was just too early for its time, and I wish it had a better opportunity. Really good toy line, really good merchandise. I think, that was the cream of the crop budget and the manufacturing of toys and merchandise. I don't think Hulk has ever been higher than then. I think just from anything, you can find so many 2003 Incredible Hulk merch. From dinner plates and silverware and cups, and you can go on and on and on. That was my rant, but I just don't think it got a fair shake. Too early for its time. That about wraps up my opinion on the movie today. I hope you liked my little discussion. I will definitely be reviewing the 2008 movie and giving my opinion on that character and how that could have been better. And then the current Hulk. I don't even want to really get into that, but I will. Especially Bruce Banner and the real man behind that character and his woke agenda. I think he's a piece of work. I'm embarrassed to have him as my Bruce Banner currently, but what are you going to do? But I'll talk about that at a later date. But thanks for listening to me rant and review, and I hope you enjoyed the 3 3/4 Hulk figure. I think it's a really, really nice figure. I love the retro stuff. I wish they would do more of it, and I will see you in the next video. All right, so take care, guys. Peace.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.